Lizzie Marie here with the Sparrow's Nest, and welcome to my channel, Simple Living with DIY projects and delicious dishes. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a ladder wrap bracelet. Now this one's a little bit shorter, but you can also make them longer, and these are really cute. I love making these. I had made a video before about making a ladder wrap bracelet, but since then I've learned some better techniques for how to make it. So I'm really excited to show you my updated video on how to make a more professional, durable ladder wrap bracelet. So here you can take a look at this bracelet that I made, and this is what I'm going to show you in my video today. The first thing that you want is a leather cord. You can find this in the beading section at any craft store, and you want to look for 2mm leather cord. The second thing you need is this Coats Extra Strong upholstery thread. When I first did my first video, I used just like an embroidery thread, and I learned that when that got wet, it did start breaking off the bracelet. And so I found that this upholstery extra strong thread is really crazy strong, so it's not going to wear down if you get it wet, and it's so strong I can't even break it. It's crazy strong. So this is perfect for these bracelets. Another thing in my first video is that I just use like a regular needle, and I learned that you really do want to get one of these needles. They are actual beading needles. Some of these beads have smaller holes, and I found that it was just really hard to get a regular needle through some of the holes. So this works so good. They are so they're collapsible, and so they can go through a lot of beads. The third thing I've learned since then is that you can't just get any beads. You want to get beads that have a little bit of a bigger hole, so you definitely want to look out for beads with a little bit of bigger hole so you can make sure that you get your needle through them. You also want to get a button for the end of your clasp here, and you want to get any type of button that has these little holes that are big enough to put your leather cord through it. The last thing you want is a clipboard, as you're going to be using the clipboard to clip your leather cord on so that it holds it in place while you are making your bracelet. I have a link for all the supplies that I used in the video below. I also have a link to the blog so you can go check that out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that little bell right next to it so you never miss a video. Alright guys, let's get started, and I will show you how to make a very professional ladder wrap bracelet so you can make your own instead of having to pay for them at the store, because they're kind of pricey at the store. So I would much rather make my own. The first thing you're going to do is determine the length that you want your bracelet. So if you want a long wrap ladder bracelet, you can wrap it 3 times. For this one, I'm just wrapping it 1 time and making a shorter one. So I'm going to wrap it, and then I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to add a couple extra inches to the length, and then I'm going to cut it right there. Thread the leather cord through your button, and you're going to have an even amount of cord on both sides of the button. Then you're going to make an overhand knot, and you want to push that overhand knot right underneath the button. Tighten it up right there. I use a little cotton round on top of my button to secure it underneath the clipboard. It's just, if you just put that button under, it's just gonna kind of slide around. And now you're ready to start your bracelet. Wrap the thread around the left cord and secure it with 2 overhand knots. Now I'm going to take my thread, and I'm going to go from the middle to the left side of the cord, and I'm going to go over the left side, back through the right side underneath, and I'm going to wrap it just a couple of times around that left cord. Now I'm just going to snip off that excess piece of thread, and I'm going to just put a dab of super glue so I have my thread secure on my leather cord. And then to start, I want to make sure my thread is on the left side of that cord. Now I'm going to add my first bead. I'm going to let it drop in between the two leather cords. I want to pull it all the way up to the top. Thread the needle underneath the right cord, through the bead, then underneath the left cord, and then you're going to pull the thread snug. You can do that just by like pulling it up to the left up there so it's really nice and tight. Now with that thread above the left cord, you're going to add your second bead, let it drop between the two cords, and you're going to repeat the same process. Thread your needle underneath the right cord, through the bead, underneath the left cord, and pull nice and snug. Add your next bead, making sure the thread is over that left cord now as you add your bead. Let it drop between the two cords. Thread the needle underneath the right cord, through the bead, underneath the left cord, and pull it up nice and tight. Continue adding the beads until the bracelet reaches your desired length. This design looks great as a single wrap or a double or triple wrap. Now that I'm at the end of my bracelet, I'm going to wrap my thread around that left cord a couple of times, and I'm going to make about 2 overhand knots. I'm going to use some super glue so that those knots are secure on my leather cord. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut off that excess thread. I'm going to let that dry for a second. And now I want to take my 2 cords and I'm going to make an overhand knot and tighten it close to the bead. Then tie a second knot in the leather cords a short distance from the first. I always check to make sure my button can go through that loop right there, as this is the loop that's going to be used to it kind of works like a clasp. I always like to make 2, so you see those 2 loops that I have there, so I make another knot. And then I can use my button and I push it through the loop, and that is what closes the bracelet. I always like to have another loop, in case you're using it for a gift or you want it looser or tighter. You have 2 loops that you can put your button through. And there we go. I'm all done with my bracelet. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear from you, so leave a comment in the comment section below.